Freedom and beauty to everyone. I am the Technomage, and welcome to my review of Star Wars The Acolyte Season 1, Episode 4. And this episode should be titled Lazy Writing, because bloody hell. First of all, this is a short episode, a little under 30 minutes. Second, is boring, which honestly by now it's just the identity of this series. And third, things just keep happening because the plot said so. And events keep developing just to advance the plot. There is no risk or anything. It's just people moving from point A to B to C. And we will see that in this episode. So we begin with this.
Keep each movement tight, yet subtle.
The acting on this series is still awful. This Master Jedi's delivery of his lines is terrible, and the other Padawans practicing their katas, the same thing, terrible. Daphne King has some good moves, but the rest, really sloppy. Then we have this.
Staying? I've done what I needed
flat
to do.
voices, flat faces.
Thank you.
Like Osha's actress
for helping me find my
and
sister.
Daphne Kinney
Prove my innocence.
are struggling to smile or something, and their eyebrows don't move. Is it really that difficult to emote?
You'd stay until we apprehended her.
Here is another complaint. Look at this. The CGI on this series is terrible. Look at that ship. It's atrocious. And not only here. I am convinced that this panoramic view of Coruscant was made with artificial intelligence. I am convinced. Well, I haven't analyzed this particular part with with a fine tooth comb, but I am convinced that first of all, these square sections here are repeated, in a random manner. No, for example, this section is not the same as the section that are immediately near to it, but I know that if I look into it, this section I will find a identical section around here or here. The same with this one or this one. And the buildings, I am convinced that these buildings are repeated all over this skyline. Because I am convinced that everything done on this series has been lazy and low effort. And speaking of laziness and low effort, now I figured out why Osha and May have the same hairstyle. It's not a cultural thing about their origins in their coven of witches. It's because this way they can use the same actress for both roles. They don't have to waste time and money on makeup and hairstylists, because the only difference between Osha and May is that May wears these extensions. Osha only has the short hair. But this is the reason why both of them have the same hairstyle. It's just laziness, so they can save up time and money on a hairstylist. And this series has, may I remind you, a budget of $180 million. Where is that money going? Oh, and this is in with
He was
this
fast.
little council. I mean, this is not the High Council of the
Merchant's
Jedi
gun.
Order, but okay. First of all, this gentleman right here may look familiar to you. That's because this is Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, who, by the way, shouldn't be here. He should not be here because Ki-Adi-Mundi is not that old. But the writers and the showrunner of this series just changed the canon to make him older just to have him here as a member berry. That's the whole reason why Ki-Adi-Mundi is on this project, is just to serve as a member berry. Because later, in a century later, during the Phantom Menace, he's going to forget that 100 years ago, he met a small group of Darksiders when they are discussing that we haven't seen the Sith in 1,000 years. Oh yeah, but there was that time about 100 years ago that we had this Darksider training a girl. And later, when he meets Anakin, oh yeah, boy, you don't have a father, don't you? And you're very strong in the Force. I remember 100 years ago there were these two girls who also were created through the Force and they were really strong in the Force. No, he just forgot because the blood says so.
Her every choice.
Listen to these people
There is skill
talk.
there.
They are terrible.
Someone has trained her.
Except
But
him.
who?
She doesn't know.
Master Soul, played by Jung Jae. He is not only the only convincing actor on this project, he is the only good actor on this entire project. And may I remind you that Jung Jae is a non-English speaking actor. He doesn't speak English. He had to memorize not just his lines, but the sounds of his lines so he can repeat them on camera. And even with that enormous handicap, he is the only convincing actor in this entire project. And the only one that can actually emote with his face. Look here.
Please.
He actually looks
Why didn't you tell me about this?
I did. As soon as I knew.
kind of angry
16 years ago.
and
Why
upset,
didn't you tell me there was a...
and compare him to her. All this talking and her eyebrows, her eyes are completely stiff. Nothing here is moving, just her mouth.
Chance this poor girl...
May's objective is not so
But him,
low.
look at him.
You must know that.
I mean, just a little bit there, but his eyebrows and his eyes actually move. And here, when he speaks with
I need you to
Osha,
come with me on this mission.
You want me to rejoin the Jedi?
Well,
again, look, a little
Not
glance to
official.
the side. He closes his eyes a little bit. Actual emoting.
We're looking for a Wookiee. He's
And
big
here,
and
look,
hairy.
listen to X-23. Listen how boring and uninterested she sounds while delivering her lines. And here, look at all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Jedi, and they look so awkward, just glancing sideways here and there. None of them is and they are practically standing completely still. I mean, your here moves a little, but again, the only convincing actor here is Master Soul. And once again, Master Soul is the only Jedi in the entire Jedi Order that has a connection to the Force and can feel things through the Force. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Jedi and 1 Padawan and 1 former Jedi. and Master Soul is the only one who can perceive disturbances in the Force.
You're not going to face her. You're going to face your past. Both of us will.
And again with the foreshadowing that the Jedi are nothing but a bunch of psychopaths, murderers, and child kidnappers. Like, seriously, the only purpose of this series is to sully the image and legacy of the Jedi and Star Wars in general. Oh,
You were wrong.
you're not going to believe
Osha
this.
being alive changes everything. My loyalty is to Osha, not your master. What I'm going to do is surrender myself to Kelnaka, and then turn myself into the Jedi.
No, we'll put you in prison.
Not after I tell them who I am.
Of course, May is not evil. Even after everything she did, she's not evil. She's just misunderstood, and then she's going to talk with the Jedi, and they will see that she's not evil, just misunderstood. The Jedi are the ones that are actually evil. Oh. But Mai found Kelnaka and, oh, oops, he's already dead. And once again, Master Soul is the only one who can feel disturbances in the Force, and oh bloody hell, look at this. Here comes the mysterious master of Mai, and look at this. The master is right here and slowly floats or levitates down to the ground, but pay attention to their cape. It barely moves. I mean, I swear, I could actually hear the bullies and the crewmen lowering the actor to the ground. $180 million on budget. Where is that money going? I don't know. I mean, honestly, the only justified use of that budget is paying Jung Jae's salary. And look at his design with that bloody green
Identify yourself.
on its helmet. It's like ridiculous. And the master stops right in front of Osha, and there's been this whole discussion online that this master could be one of Osha's mothers. Maybe it's the one with the horns, Mother Kirill, because her body wasn't among the dead witches when at the end of episode 3. Others says that maybe it's that Asian guy who was helping May. I mean, May just left him alone. Maybe he released himself and got to Kelnaka first. I mean, he already know where Kelnaka was. Anyway, whoever this mysterious master is, I know one thing for certain. It's going to be a complete disappointment. And lightsabers are off, and like we saw in the trailer, and it seems like we finally were going to have a awesome fight on this incredibly boring series, and no, it's the end of the episode. As I said, lazy writing. This episode was particularly short, and I think it was just because they needed to fill 8 episodes. As I said at the beginning of this video, they had so little material to work with, and they actually are just stretching what little they have to produce 8 episodes. Because honestly, I think they actually don't have material for maybe 5 episodes. Maybe. Seriously. And this is due to the laziness and incompetence of the writers and the showrunner Leslye Headland. Well, episode 4, we're halfway through. Let's see how they do with the second half of this series. This is the Technomage signing off. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.